Hi guys, I hope you're doing well this cold July morning. My name is Irene and this is Hairy Lifestyle. Welcome back to my kitchen. I've missed you guys. I've missed being in the kitchen with you. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how I prepare and prep my beans and my cereals to boil them. I like boiling my beans and my githeri and my ndengu in a big batch so that I can store them in the freezer, and anytime I need to cook, I just need to pull out one meal size pack and be able to cook that. I'm not very good at batch cooking, but I'm good at batch preparing. So today I'm going to show you how I just go through all that process. Karibuni sana. Thank you for joining me today. So guys, I already went ahead and bought my beans. These are 2 kgs of beans. I try to use the yellow beans, and I've discovered there are others. There is one called army green, and then of course we have the usual yellow beans that we use. The reason why I use these yellow beans is because they tend to be easier on the stomach and they cause, less gas for you. But other than that, I usually soak my cereals for a good long time, 24 hours, 12 to 24 hours, because that really helps to remove all the anti-nutrients that make beans hard for us to digest. That applies to your beans, to your green grams, anything, any cereal, any legumes that you want to boil that are already dried up. You need to soak them, and that is what I do so that it is easier for us to digest them. When you soak them, all the anti-nutrients will leach out, and you need to change the water. Make sure you change the water you're soaking them in every few hours. That will help you clean them out. By the way, these beans, when they come out from the market, and the green grams and your jahe, anything that you buy from the market, first of all, they are very, very dirty, and they've been handled by so many people. They've been exposed to a lot of dust. So one of the things that I do when I soak them, I wash them several times. So on my menu today, we are going to be soaking and cleaning out and soaking these beans. I'm going to use these beans and my maize over here to make my githeri. I'm going to go ahead and prepare this maize and clean the beans and soak them so that we can make githeri. I also have another batch of beans that has already been soaking. I soaked it yesterday. We're going to be boiling that by itself to just make beans. And I also have ndengus that I've already soaked. Those are green grams, and we're going to be soaking. So we're making githeri, we're making green grams, and we're making plain beans. These right here are the beans that I have been soaking from last night. As you can see, they've already rehydrated. I'll show you how I washed them and how I sorted them. After that, I soaked them for about less than 24 hours because I soaked them yesterday afternoon. But as you can see, they're looking well rehydrated, and they're ready to go into the fire. I'm just going to wash them once again and remove this water. Remember, you have to keep removing that water because all those bad things you're trying to get rid of have leached into the water. Here I have my green grams that have also been soaking for that period of time. They're now ready to go into the fire. As you can see, if you look closely, I'll try to give you a close-up of this. These green grams have already started producing a sprout. So the sprouting process has already begun. Sprouting is very, very important because it begins the process of changing this legume from just a seed into a plant that will grow. Now, as I go ahead and I scoop my beans into my pot, I'm just going to go over it again. The reason why we soak our beans is because we want all the anti-nutrients to just be broken down. They will leach out into the water. So I ensure that I change the water at least 3 or 4 times during the soaking process. The other reason why we soak our beans is because we want to start the sprouting process. We want this bean to really begin to germinate, or is almost germinating. The water and the soaking will provide an environment that will have this bean think that it is being planted, so it will start wanting to grow, and that sprouted bean is way easier on your digestive system. It is much easier for you to absorb the nutrients that are in the beans, and it will not give you any stomach upset. It will not give you any gas issues. The other thing why we wash our beans, as I said, they're usually very, very dirty when they come from the market. The fourth thing why you want to soak your beans, soak your ndengu, soak all your cereals before you boil them is because it rehydrates them and they will boil for a much shorter period of time. So I'll be saving on fire as well. So my pot of beans is ready. I'm ready to take it to the fire. I don't know if you can see that. I'm just going to add some hot water into it and I'll put it on the fire and our first batch begins to boil. I have a long way to go because I have to deal with the ndengu and I have to deal with the githeri. Guys, are you noticing how the prices of things are going up every day? Let me try to talk to you as I prepare my maize ready for my githeri. The prices are going up tremendously, you guys. I used to buy yellow beans at 120 shillings, sometimes even 100 shillings, depending on where I'm buying them from. Yesterday I went to the shopping center. I didn't get to go to the market, but the prices are usually not any better in the market. And I bought my yellow beans at 160 shillings per kg. I bought the army green. Today morning I decided to go back and add 2 more kgs of beans, and guess what? The lady told me she's now selling them at 180 shillings. This is yesterday and today. Nothing has happened. Nothing has caused a price hike, but for whatever reason, she decided to hike the prices and she was not having it. I tried to negotiate. I couldn't. So that's why I even ended up buying those other beans because they were those ones she agreed to sell at 160, but not the army green and not the traditional yellow bean that you know of. That's the one that I usually use often. But while she says all these ones are those ones that do not cause a lot of gas, so I'm hoping that will pan out and we won't have any problems. I've told you I've soaked them, but these beans were dirty. Not they were already sorted, so I still had to come and sort them again because they still had a few bad pieces in there, but by and large they were sorted, but they were very dusty and very, very dirty. So as I said earlier, part of the soaking process is also for you to get a good opportunity to wash those beans, even as you're releasing those gases and making them more digestible for you. Another thing I wanted to talk about is the fact that we are going to be having elections in this country in the next 2 weeks. Yeah, we have 2 weeks to elections. This is the last week of July, so 9th of August we have our general elections. I hope you're planning to vote. But anyway, that is a good reason for you and for me to prepare my stuff. 2 weeks to go. I'm making sure that I have all the beans that I need boiled and ready in my freezer. I'm also making sure that I'll go to the market probably the Friday before the elections. Guys, I think it's very important to just make sure that you're always prepared, you're always ready. You don't want to be looking for stuff during the election period. You just want to be able to go vote and come back home and just, you know, chill and wait for the whole process of voting to complete and for the new government, the new president to be announced, however that will go. So I think it's important for us to always be prepared. I'm not fear-mongering anybody, but if you haven't prepared, this is a good time to prepare. Make sure that you shop, make sure you have everything on the ready in your house, even if you haven't boiled or done anything, but make sure you have all your cereals. Make sure you go for your shopping so that on that day of elections and even the days after election, you don't need to go anywhere, you're not moving around, you can stay put in your house just in case of anything. That's not a good time to be thinking of going to the market and moving around and looking for stuff. So part of what I'm doing and the reason why I'm doing all my boiling right now is to make sure that I'm well and truly ready so that I don't need to be moving around during that election period. Yeah. And our beans are now ready. Our first batch is ready. These are the beans. I hope you can see that. They are nice and ready. So I'm just going to wait for these ones to cool off so that I can go ahead and package them. Meanwhile, let me put my green grams into the pot so that they can go to the fire. And guys, it is now the next afternoon. I am done. I am so excited. I'm done with all my boiling. Here I have some extra beans that I boiled from my githeri because I didn't want the beans to be too much, so that they're in good ratio with the maize. And here is my githeri all ready. I'm now going to go ahead and start packaging this. I already packaged my ndengu and my other beans. I'll show you how I did that. For my packaging, I'm going to be using these bags that I bought in town. They're for packing. These bags, I bought them, I think they're about 100 pieces that I bought for like 300 shillings from one of those shops that sells packaging stuff. Inside they are lined so they won't let anything leak out if you have any moisture in anything that you're packaging. So these are the bags that I use. There are many different ones, different sizes and different qualities. I actually buy the cheaper ones that are not the highest quality because I'm just gonna put them to one use. When I'm cooking this, I discard the bag itself, so I just need to use it once. It works very well. Let's go ahead and package all this, and yes, our work is done. And guys, I'm all done for today. My task is finished. I have 2, 4, 6, 8 packets of githeri. I have 8 packets of beans, and I have 8 packets of ndengu. That is gonna take me for probably a month and a half. I'm happy. I'm so glad that this chore is done. I hope you learned something today, and this is something you're going to try. Prepping food makes life very easy for you as a busy mom, as a mom with kids and work and everything, and also preparing before the elections. Buying your stuff in bulk, preparing it makes your life very easy. Thank you for hanging out with me. This is Irene from Hairy Lifestyle. I'll see you in my next video. Don't forget to like, to subscribe, and to share this video. Asanteni sana.